Again, Don King along with J.B. Haney, and it's a pleasure to be with you for our 7th season of prep football here on TCI Cablevision of Tulsa. And, Coach, when we saw both teams last week in their scrimmages, they looked pretty sharp.
For many years, Don, we talked about Washington High School. If you win a state championship in Class 6A, you have to go through S.E. Williams Stadium to win it. I think Washington has the type of ball club this year that can be right back knocking on that crown once again. And we know that Union, with their aerial attack, with Justin Fuentes, the way he can throw the football, and now we've got R.W. McQuarters in the backfield. What a matchup that's going to be tonight. But both these ball clubs has shown us in the early scrimmages that they're capable of winning a state title, and this should be a great ball game tonight, and what a way to open the season.
Should be fun. 3 players in this game were featured by USA Today newspaper recently as 3 of the top 10 prospects in the state of Oklahoma. When we come back, J.B. Haney will visit with the coaches, and we'll find out who those players are, as well as others, as we get ready to kick off the 94th season on TCI Cablevision of Tulsa.
Welcome back to S.E. Williams Stadium, as we're just moments away from kickoff here as we visit with Bill Blankenship, the head coach of the Union Redskins. And Bill, taking a look at your squad and coming out of the Big 4 scrimmage, you shut out Bigsby, you shut out Broken Arrow. Maybe that was a concern before you went in to this fall's 2-a-day scrimmage and practices, but hey, they looked awful good over there the other night.
Well, Coach, we were real happy with our effort, and we thought our guys played extremely well, but you know, we know that we weren't playing the Booker T. Hornets either. Again, are pleased with the effort, but you know, what's in the preseason doesn't count. Now we got to back it up and see if we can play some defense against some guys that are very talented and probably one of the best running backs in the state.
Devon Parker, definitely one of the blue chip players in the state of Oklahoma. R.W. McQuarters, and we were just talking in the open with Don King. What a matchup that's going to be with Jason Fuentes throwing the football and R.W. McQuarters back there roving that backfield. That's going to be a great show tonight.
Oh, you bet. R.W. has shown for 2 years what he can do back there, and he's earned our respect. There's no doubt about it. Damon Parker has earned our respect by what he did a year ago, and so there is no question that we're going to have to be on our top of our game tonight. But our guys have had a good week of practice, and this is a great opportunity for people to see 2 good football teams, and we hope to have a good show here.
And playing on Thursday night, kind of getting a jump why this is going to be the showcase of high school football tonight.
Well, when Coach Alexander and I talked about it, that's the whole idea. We feel like there are a lot of Division I players out here tonight. We think that it's an opportunity for people to see 2 quality football teams, and fortunately, it's just not a district game. You know, we get to beat up on each other the first ball game, and it'll be a real test for us to see where we are.
Best of luck tonight, Bill.
Thank you, JB.
Bill Blankenship, the head coach of the Union Redskins, as we move in and now and visit with Ted Alexander, the head coach of the Washington Hornets. And Coach, you won the All-City Championship for the 3rd year in a row. And as you go back, is that a significant move for the squad once they win that All-City? Does that really help them go into the season in the right spirit?
Well, it helps the squad and also helps the coaches, because we get a chance to see a lot of kids play. New kids get a chance to see them play and see how they perform under lights. So if they can perform under the lights at All-City, we feel they can perform in a regular ball game.
Now, you beat McLean, you beat East Central, and you beat Central. East Central was the only team that scored on you in the All-City, scoring 7 points, and you were scoring 20, 21, 28 points in a half. Is your offense really that good this early?
Well, I'm not going to say how good we are this early. You know, we're not playing the Union. We didn't play a Union Redskin, okay? And so the defense, you know, we were able to do some things on the offense that, you know, Union would be a lot better suited to stop us for. But you know, like I said, we got a chance to see some kids, young kids play, and we kind of pulled off, you know, our first team when we played East Central, you know, and give some young kids a chance to play.
You have some outstanding Division I prospects on the Hornet squad this year, and maybe you can kind of tell our viewing audience some of the kids to watch for tonight.
Well, definitely number 17, Robert McQuarters, he's an All-American prospect, playing free safety and wide out. He's been playing that position for the last 3 years, doubling both ways. And we got Damon Parker, 25. He gained over 1,900 yards last year rushing, and he's back, you know. And we got Terrell Knowles, big tight end, big-time prospect.
When you take a look at the quarterback at the University of Oklahoma and Garrick McGee and Tony Jones, quarterback at Oklahoma State University, why, that has to give your kids a big boost to know that they can go off the campus of Washington High School, step right into the Big 8 Conference, and start as a quarterback.
Well, you know, we do a lot of things at Booker T. Washington High School. We feel that we prepare our kids to play at the next level. You know, we've been fortunate to have some kids who could play and have the talent to play at the next level. So, you know, those guys are doing well, and, you know, it's just it's good for the coaches here too. That you know, if we can put kids on the Division I level.
Best of luck tonight, Ted.
Thank you, Davey.
Ted Alexander, the head coach of the Washington Hornets. Stay with us. When we come back, Don King will have the starting lineup.
Stadium. The weather has certainly hampered the crowd, at least here in the early going, it appears, as both teams come onto the field. I would say, JB, the track is a little sloppy.
It's a little damp out there, Don, but I think it's a great night for the kids to play as far as the temperature is concerned, because they're not going to be facing that heat that they have been in the two-a-day practices and up until school started. So I think it's a good night for the kids. Maybe the fans think it's a little bit sloppy, but I think they're going to enjoy it.
Again, some great offensive performers on both sides of the football for the Washington Hornets. R.W. McQuarters, number 17. Their great running back, number 25, Damon Parker, who follows in a long line of great running backs. At quarterback will be number 12, Mario Ratliff. And now we have the playing of our national anthem, and the Hornet Band will do the honors.
Carry the American flag is Cadet Captain Trey Walker. The Oklahoma flag is carried by Cadet Lieutenant Gina Thomas, and the Air Force unit flag by Cadet Lieutenant Scott McDaniel. The Honor Guard escorts are Cadet Lieutenants Grant Cagle and Drew Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem being played tonight by Elmer Davis Jr. and the Booker T. Washington T Connection Band.
The Redskins. And Bill Blankenship, who played his high school ball at Spiro, went to the University of Tulsa, where he quarterbacked the Golden Hurricane. Then went back to Spiro as a head coach, went to Edmond for a couple of years, and now here at Union as he gets ready for his third season. For the Washington Hornets, who come onto the field. Ted Alexander, their head coach, you met him with J.B. Haney as the Hornets went 11-1 last year, making it to the state quarterfinals. The Hornets returned 9 starters for Ted Alexander, who played his prep ball at Bristow, went to Langston, where he was an all-conference performer, drafted by the 49ers, ended up with the Falcons, and then with the Oklahoma Thunder. How many remember the Oklahoma Thunder in 1981 when Ted Alexander was the running back and Dave Rader was the quarterback?
Both of them have come a long way, Don, since then.
They certainly have.
You know, I think it's interesting here in the coaches poll when they ranked the teams, Don. Washington ranked number 5, but the coaches, they had 2 votes for number 1.
Here you see Union and Washington have opened the season 8 of the last 9 years. Washington winning last year's meeting 32-18. In fact, the last 2 years have really been all Booker T. Washington. And this kick by Ritter, one of the best in the state. He steps into the end zone, but he'll run it out. This is Parker close to the 20 and down at the 20-yard line. When he caught the ball in the field of play, his momentum took him into the end zone, but he had to run it out.
Well, you know one thing for sure, that he is going to run the football when he gets his hands on the ball, Don, and that was a good return considering where he fielded the football, and what a great kickoff by Ritter.
So the Hornets will start 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Again, keep an eye on Ratliff, the quarterback. Parker is the tailback. The man in motion is Dwight Jackson, and we've already got something going on here. Booker T needs a timeout. That will help because I need to find Washington's lineup. Steve Scott doing the stats tonight. Snatches my lineup. Steve Scott in place of Jim Trickett tonight doing our stats. Casey Bishop helping out tonight. And a new producer here on a Channel 9 broadcast. Julie Corsi, but Bob Best back with us again. And we are glad that you are back with us as well. Hope you'll pull up a chair and kick off the 94 season with us as we get set to watch two perennial powers, the Hornets and the Redskins from S.C. Williams Stadium. It is damp and a little chilly for the players, as JB mentioned. We're underway now. After the timeout, 1st and 10 from the 20. Ratliff, the quarterback, gives to the star Parker, who slides by one man, gets 5, gets up to the first down marker. He'll be a yard short as he slides out of bounds. Number 21, Rashawn Greer, 5'9", 160-pound defensive back, makes the tackle.
Robert McWhorter showed you just exactly what he likes to do with the football, Don. I think sometimes he seeks out a defensive player and just tries to go right through it.
Parker for 9 yards, 2nd and 1 from the 29. Ratliff has a wide receiver to each side. Actually, he has a flanker as well, so he has 3 receivers. But on 2nd and short, they go to Parker, but he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and 3 Redskins are there. Leading the way for the Skins defense is 5'7", 220-pound defensive lineman Derek Collins, number 70.
The Redskins defense was certainly outstanding in the Big 4 scrimmage as they shut out Broken Arrow and shut out Bixby. And I think that was a concern of Bill Blankenship's early in the season, maybe, and even last year. Had the offense going, but the defense wasn't there. But it looks like this defensive unit right here, Don's going to do just exactly what he wants them to do.
So after no gain, 3rd and a yard. Ratliff, he can run the football very effectively, but he doesn't do a lot of it. But when they have Parker in the backfield, as he slips through, gets 5 and gets the first down. Parker last year, JB, made his debut against the Redskins, and how?
He really did, Don. I mean, he had one great night against the Union Redskins. He carried the ball for 258 yards, had 3 touchdowns as the Hornets won 32-18. This was played out at Union Tunnel Stadium. So that was quite a debut in there for Devon Parker, and he showed you the kind of back he is again on this last play. I mean, he's hit in the backfield. It looks like a frog in there. He leaped about 4 yards.
Certainly did, but as you see, we have a penalty. They'll move him back. Don Gassaway, one of the officials, the head official, the referee, Johnny Sherblank. You got the best crew probably in town here.
You've got a tremendous amount of years of experience with this crew, and I always joke with them, Don. I said we've got about 2 centuries of experience in officiating, but not quite that much.
Well, we got procedure, as you see, against the Hornets. It'll be a 5-yarder. First penalty of the night. Makes it 3rd and 6 then from the 20, we'll say probably the 24-yard line. What an explosive offense this Washington team can be. Union, on the other hand, can also put points on the board. Here they get it to McWhorter, one-on-one. He dances by one man. He's got the first down, a great block. McWhorter's to midfield. One man to catch him. R.W. McWhorter. The 5'11", 175-pound two-way performer, 3-year starter, electrifies the crowd in the early going on a 76-yard pass play, and they just tossed it out there and said, big boy, do your job.
And he has the quickest feet you've ever seen, Don. And I mean, you talk about just sidestepping people, and they had good shots at him, but that's why he's one of the top 10 players in the nation.
Here's the kick attempt by Washington's Darrell Bright. He's a lineman. They have had some problems in the kicking game, and that kick is no good. 9.5 minutes to go opening period, and the Hornets drive 80 yards in 3 plays. And they get the 76-yard bomb from Ratliff to McQuarters, and the Hornets are on the board 6-0.
What an explosive play in there by Robert McQuarters. That just electrifies the crowd, as you said, Don. And I think a player that maybe does not get enough attention here at Washington High School is Mario Ratliff, the quarterback. Now, he does an excellent job. He's not a real big kid, only 155 pounds, but he certainly came in last year, started 4 games, and he's a very, very good quarterback.
He and Trent Alexander battled for the QB job a year ago, Trent being the head coach's son. And Trent signed a college letter of intent with OSU. And you are so correct, JB. Quarterback really goes unnoticed sometimes at Booker T. But they have produced some great ones. And of course, both major universities in the state will be represented by alums from Booker T.
I can't remember that happening in the past, Don, where one high school had starting quarterbacks at both Oklahoma State and OSU at the same time, or Oklahoma State and OU.
Here's the kickoff, and they let it go out of bounds, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty. Letting it roll out of bounds wisely, Chad Dainty, one of the faster players on this Redskin team. So it'll be another 5-yarder, or they will take the ball in pretty good field position at the 35.
And I think that's what they're going to do.
So after the kick is out of bounds, a wise decision to take the ball upfield, and Union will get the ball with 9:30 to go opening period.
Get our first look here at an all-state quarterback, one that's sought after across the nation, Justin Fuente. And keep an eye on number 1, Dane Ivory, because he is a flash to the near side of the field.
They run that single back pro set offense, and Fuente guns the first one. It's caught on the ground by Dustin Steele, their leading receiver from a year ago. He gets about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Dustin Steele's one of Justin Fuente's favorite targets, but he also throws a lot to Dane Ivory, and I think they kind of set it up with that short game with Steele.
Now here we have a penalty in the early going as they tried to hand off for their 1,000-yard rusher, Eric Bernard. Somebody must have lined up in an encroachment. No, procedure, says Johnny Sherblank.
Robert McQuarters is covering Dane Ivory on the near side of the field here, so I don't think they're going to be tossing the ball to Dane Ivory very much tonight as long as R.C. McQuarters is on him. Now he goes to the other side of the field.
Ivory caught a 58-yarder. He's number 1 there at the top of your screen. He caught a 58-yard pass in the Big 4 preview last week. 3 receivers for Fuente on 2nd down. This pass on the money to Steele. First down, Union to midfield.
That's a great move that Steele put on R.W. McQuarters that time. I'm sure that the turf is just a little slick down there, and it looked like he may have slipped just as he caught the ball.
Across midfield to the Booker T. Washington 49-yard line. 3 receivers now to the top. This is Bernard's first carry, and Eric slips through one. Gets a nice cutback block. He's got the first down to the 35-yard line. He's run out of bounds near the 30. And the Hornets are trying to stop the Redskins to no avail up to this point.
There you get a good look at Eric Bernard. He just bounced out. He went inside, looked like they had him for no gain. He just pops out and then gets around his left end, picks up the first down. He's a good runner.
Looks as though a 17-yard gain on the last play for Bernard, his first carry. Here's a play action. No, instead they do run it. I beg your pardon. They do run it, and it is Bernard again, and he'll get a couple. Second down, 8 upcoming. Washington leads this series 5 wins to 3. And in fact, these two schools will meet again next Tuesday when the junior varsities will meet here at S.E. Williams Stadium at 7 o'clock. From the Washington 30, Fuentes 2 for 2 in the early going. Nathan Ritter's got it for a first down and more. Wow, down inside the 10-yard line, and Ritter, who's the kicker on the team, electrifies the Union crowd.
You can understand why so many Division I colleges is after Justin Fuentes, and he picks out Ritter over the middle there. Just a great bullet pass, great catch by Ritter, and some nice running after he catches a football.
Looks to be at about the 10-yard line. I can't tell from this angle whether it's first and goal. Bernard to the right side. Touchdown, Union.
Some great blocking in there by the right-hand side of the Union Redskin line, just making it very, very easy for Eric Bernard to walk into the end zone.
The extra point kicker could not get the extra point through. Fuente, I think he wanted a penalty on the play to no avail. So Bernard's 10-yard touchdown run has tied the game at 6. And it didn't take long for the Skins to get on the board, did it? 6 plays, 65 yards. And it took them 2 minutes and 13 seconds to tie it up. Each team's touched the ball once. Both teams have put points on the board.
I don't think many people expected it to happen this quickly, Don. I think that they felt the defense would be just a little stronger, but my goodness, that's some football game when you just take the opening kickoff and march it for a touchdown and kick it back, and they march it for a touchdown. We may be in for a high offensive game tonight.
Really might be. Good point. We opened prep coverage in 1988 with these two teams at Union Tuttle Stadium. Washington won that game, as you see the scoring drive. The Hornets won that game 13-0. The year before, the Hornets won on this turf in 1987, 2-0. So there have been some defensive struggles in this series, but not apparently in this game, as the kick sails into the end zone, but did it go out of bounds?
Oh, I think it got in the end zone, Don. I don't think it got out of bounds.
It will be a touchback, and the Hornets will set up shop as they did last time. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. An offensive line that is anchored by 3-year starter Brad Bender, 6 foot, 220-pounder. He's the center, and he'll snap it to Mario Ratliff. Look at Union, fill in the gaps. They give to Parker. He scoots through, loses the ball, and the Redskins have it deep in Hornet territory. Number 75 for the Redskins recovers the fumble. 2-year starter Red Grimes, 5'10", 210-pounder.
That certainly makes Red Grimes happy when he comes in there. Nice move in there, and it just looked like he was stripped by the ball. It looked like it was Matt Wilson that got in there and just absolutely stripped the ball from Damon Parker, and allowing Union to recover.
7:05 remaining opening period, in what field position at the Washington 20 for Fuente. He hasn't thrown one incomplete yet until that hit. Drops the receiver, and I mean what a hit that was from Tyron Taylor, the 6'2", 170 cornerback.
That was perfect timing, Don. He hit him Taylor come up on the tackle just as the ball hit the receiver and knocked it loose. If he'd have been about a second late, it could have been a fumble.
Justin Fuente, who has thrown for over 3,000 yards in his career and is being recruited by such schools as Stanford, UCLA, Tennessee, Texas, and all the area schools. What a catch that was. He kept his feet. Now he doesn't, and that's going to be a huge loss. Back near the 30-yard line. That's going to be a loss of about 7-8 yards, and we'll set up 3rd and long.
High school football is so exciting, Don, because about the time you think you have a break that's going to go your way, why suddenly the other team just rises up, as the Hornet defensive team has done here, and looks like that they're going to weather the storm.
Loss of 8 makes it 3rd and 18 from the Washington 28. No huddle offense by the Redskins. 4 receivers now, no tight end. Play action. Fuente on the run. Loses the football himself, and the Hornets gather it back at the 35. One of the linemen just saved the bacon for the Redskins.
Great play action fake in there by Fuentes that time. Here we see him, and really it was the defense took the fake as he went in there, but no receivers downfield open, and the pursuit great in there by the Hornets.
Brett Craig, 6', 190, offensive lineman. He goes both ways, recovered the ball. Dustin Steele, maybe the most valuable player, one of the more valuable players on this team, because he's a starting wide receiver, starts on defense, punts, returns kicks, punts this one, and a fair catch called for down at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Justin Steele, his teammates have given him a nickname, Don MacGyver, because he can do so many different things, and I imagine he can get out of a lot of close places as well, but a very adequate nickname for Justin Steele.
Good baseball player. He hit 383 as a shortstop a year ago. So here come the Hornets with 5:19 to go in a tie game, opening period, tied at 6, and they are deep in their territory at their own 5-yard line. Gives the Parker. Look at him fight his way for yardage up to the 10. The line of scrimmage now appears to be actually about the 7.
Damon Parker on that play was hit about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, ends up and makes about 2 yards, so he carried people for 4 yards. Great strength in his legs.
The wind is a crosswind. It's blowing into your face as you watch it on the screen. So that's not a draft. It's coming through your TV set. Here's a catch for a first down by Tyron Taylor. Remember, made that great hit on defense. Here he comes through on offense, makes the catch, and keeps things going for the Hornets. In fact, gives them a little breathing room up to the 24-yard line.
And Mario Ratliff able just to pinpoint that pass, doing an excellent job down under for the Hornets.
For the Hornets, that is their 3rd first down in the opening period. Don King, J.B. Haney with you. Glad to be with you for the start of the 94 season. As Ratliff hands off deep to Parker. Gets by one man, not the second. I think it was 52, Steve Davis, who might have made the play.
Very difficult for anyone to get Parker down one-on-one situation. He's going to have help, and thus far the defensive unit for the Union Redskins doing an excellent job in pursuit and helping one another.
Taylor, who made the catch earlier, steps back onto the field, and he replaces Ryan Humphrey. Humphrey 6'5", 195. And they set 3 receivers up here to the near side, bottom of your screen. 2nd and 10, as you see, from the 24-yard line for Washington. Look out. Ratliff looked as though he might have lost the grip of the football, and he sacked back at the 15-yard line. I think they were setting up the screen because they had 3 receivers to this side.
It really looked like they were setting it up, and I think they were going to try to ultimately get the ball in there to Tyner because McQuarters went downfield real quickly. We can't see them to the near side here. They're out of our picture, but he did their smart thing. Tuck the ball, go ahead and take the loss, and don't be sticking it out and trying to get by and lose it.
A lot of white shirts there leading the way. Keep your eye on defense for Union is Steve Hobbs. He'll go both ways, number 46. Linebacker on defense, tight end on offense. Here's a big 3rd and long play for the Hornets from their own 16. They go up the gut. Parker, nothing doing. He can't shake loose of that defense. He did it last year, as JB mentioned, for 258 yards. But tonight, the Redskins, you can tell they are determined to stop this slippery running back who a year ago had a tremendous year, rushing for over 1,000 yards.
A defensive line, Jerry Collins, John Bradbury doing an excellent job. Matt Wilson also in on the last tackle. They're really digging in, making it tough up the middle for the Hornets.
4th and long. McQuarters to punt. Dustin Steele lets it bounce, and it takes a nice Hornet bounce. Then he almost touched it, gets away from it. At the 35-yard line is where the Redskins will take over. 38-yard punt.
I'm sure.
48-yard punt for McQuarters. There's a look at your total offense.
94 yards for Booker T. Washington High School, 52 for Union High School. Don, and we have basically 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, but 76 of that 94 is on the touchdown play. So the Hornets, after that long play, haven't done much, but we're tied at 6. End around, and then the Steele tries to throw it back to Fuente and does so. But after all of that, they get about 3 yards. Steele is also the backup quarterback on this squad.
I wonder if that play wasn't designed for Justin Fuente to throw that ball again. That's a little razzle-dazzle for Bill Blankenship, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Again, a no-huddle offense, so they're giving us no time for replays. Slow it down, Coach Blankenship.
No, I think that was intended for him to run.
3 receivers to the top. Fuentes had no trouble in this opening period throwing the ball, even though it's been rather wet. Bernard has had no trouble running the ball. He got a great block on the right side and seals it off, finds a lane, and gets a first down from the 38 up to the 47. That'll be the 4th first down of the opening period for Union. Fuente, you can tell he's a little wet, huh?
It's dampened on the field, but it's not just real bad as far as the ball is concerned.
This play will be nullified. However, the Hornets might take it, a loss of 2 or maybe just 1, because one of the Redskins jumped as the snap was made. Johnny Sherblank with the call. Johnny, the former executive director of the Hurricane Club. Long time involved in TU athletics. Now Ted says, we don't want it. Nullify it. Give Bernard a loss of 2 on the play to make it 2nd down and 12 from their own 45. The Redskins of Union ranked 7th in the state, and the 5th ranked Hornets of Booker T. Washington are tied at 6 as we're getting ready to close out the first period of the 1994 season. 3 wideouts, as you see, and Fuente with the straight drop. Gets some pressure. Fires to Steele, who hangs on to it across midfield to the Washington 47-yard line. That'll be good for about 8. Both teams made it to the state playoffs a year ago, and both lost to Edmond. As our first period has expired from S.E. Williams Stadium.
Let me remind you of league rules and regulations. If you exit the game, you must pay
So we start the second period. Fuente handing to Bernard, who gets blasted after he picks up 2 or 3 yards.
Justin Fuente is really mixing his plays up well, I think, Don. He's keeping the ball on the ground, and when he goes to the air and one side to the other, doing an excellent job.
They don't pick up the first down. They're just a couple of yards shy of the first down. So it'll be 4th down, and Steele will come in to punt. His last punt was good for 30. Nice snap. Plenty of time. McQuarter's back there. Parker gets it at the 9. Look out to the 20. 30. 50. Damon Parker. Down inside the 30-yard line. Chad Dainty, one of the faster players on the team, finally has to make the stop, but not before a 60-yard return by Damon Parker. It'll be good for about 61, I think, as we take a look at it again.
And Damon Parker got the good bounce there, was able to pick it up, makes a good move around number 7 there, Dane Ivory, and then he's gone. Shakes another tackle. What a strong runner he is.
62 yards on the return.
And Daney was about the last shot the Redskins had at stopping him. There you see Robert McQuarters. He'll be a high school All-American.
After the 36-yard punt, a 62-yard return. Not much there for Parker. Parker had a big week last week in the All-City preview.
Curtis Ball lost his helmet on that last play. I don't know where he got hit, but it just came flying out of the pack in there. Big number 77.
Parker in the opening round win over Central 20-0, scored a couple of touches. And then in the semifinal win over McLean 21-0, he also scored a couple of touchdowns as well, one of them from 22 yards out. Washington defeated East Central 28-7 last week at Skelly to win their 3rd All-City championship in a row and their 14th title overall. After the gain of 1, 2nd and 9. There's a pile-up, might have been a loose ball.
Looked like Mario Ratliff in the center, just not in complete sync that time. He was backing out as the ball was snapped, but very alertly falling back on it. And you talk about those scores in the All-City, Don. Keep in mind, that is only 1/2 of play with no kickoff returns, no punt returns, which Washington is so skillful at. So there's no telling how many points they would have scored.
3rd and 9 passing situation for Ratliff, who hasn't put it up but once, and that was good for a touchdown to 76 yards. Here he keeps. He needs to get away from him. He does so. He fights for a first down, possibly. He's so close to it. He just wouldn't be denied as Rashawn Greer kept hanging on and didn't get any help. They'll mark the ball. Yep, they've got a first down as they mark it just outside what appears to be the 15-yard line.
Here we'll see Mario Ratliff fakes inside and then fakes the pitch right here. Kind of neutralizes a defense, and he slides in the gap, and looks like it just a last gap in there by hanging on to his collar was Greer.
Back to the 17-yard line where it's a first down, and Ratliff gets some pressure, gets away from one Redskin, fires in the end zone, jump ball incomplete. Looking for Parker. I like the steal on the defensive pressure. Knocked it away.
Mario Ratliff showing that he can throw the ball going left, and he chunked that ball in there about 25 yards.
Look at total offense. Washington 105, Union was 68. As the Hornets touched the ball first and scored in 3 plays. The 76-yard touchdown pass from Ratliff to R.W. McQuarters on a screenplay. And then the Redskins came right back and marched 65 yards in 6 plays to tie the game. Both teams missed their extra point. Here's Hunter. Oh, the fake to the fullback. Ratliff with a first down inside the 10-yard line. And the Hornets sting the Redskins here for a big gain on 2nd and long.
That's an excellent play when you stop and think about the way Mario Ratliff, if you fake to Parker, you are going to draw a crowd, and he did an excellent job of it, drew the ball out, and just took off on his own.
5th first down as he gains 11. So a couple of 11-yard runs has pushed the Hornets down to the Redskins 6. Pitch to Parker. He breaks 3 tackles, JB, and dives inside the 5 to the 4.
You cannot get Damon Parker down with an arm tackle. You have to hit him square up, and then you have to get people to come and help you at the same time. He'll almost tear an arm off from it. You'll see it right here. Nice penetration in there by the Union line. You've got another arm tackle in there that time by Tim Orr, but you just can't get him down with an arm tackle.
After a gain of 2, 2nd goal from the Union 4. Pitch to McQuarters. Yes! He gets to the goal line. I don't think they're going to give it to him. I thought he had it all the way. I beg your pardon. It'll be 3rd down. Let's take a look, Coach.
Get a look at the quick pitch there as he pitches it to McQuarters. McQuarters taking a good look and turns upfield. Looks like he's going to get it, but just nice pursuit in there. Comes up a little short.
3rd and goal from the Redskin 1-yard line, and a timeout called by Booker T. Washington and head coach Ted Alexander.
Dr. John Thompson, superintendent of Tulsa Public Schools, here in the press box watching the game tonight. And Don, that is refreshing to come to an athletic contest and find the superintendent of schools watching. Now, he's not just watching football, but he is also watching the crowd and the attitudes of the student body, and that is just refreshing in Tulsa. And just like to compliment him publicly for doing it.
I agree, and it has been quite a topic here lately after the unfortunate accident to Anthony Cochran, the fine receiver of McLean, who was shot a week ago. And, of course, much in the news about that and about the safety of high school football games.
And, you know, when that really broke, Dr. Thompson was, I think, misunderstood by the media, and they jumped on it and kind of led people to believe that he was wanting to cancel all night games, and he never said that. He was looking at it from an economic standpoint because a lot of teams play in the afternoon and make more money at the gate than they do when they play at night, and that's a concern, financing of athletics in Tulsa Public Schools, as it is everywhere.
Parker's the only running back. As you saw the timeouts, the Hornets have burned 2 here in the first half. Actually, it is Hunter. Ratliff tries his luck. And no signal yet. There it is. So Mario Ratliff scoots in for his first touchdown of the season to put the Hornets back on top, and I would imagine, I would think they'd go for 2, but maybe not. They're lining up as if to go for 1. And now they try the swinging gate play. And that's not going to work because Union was all over it. Eric Harris, the backup quarterback, trying the old swinging gate play to no avail.
You know, when that was first snapped out, I thought it was going to work, but very alert defense there on the part of the Union Redskins, and both teams extremely prepared for tonight's contest.
Certainly so, as the Hornets, for the first time in the second quarter, touch the ball and drive 29 yards in 8 plays. Here's the touchdown.
No doubt about him getting in. He just bows his neck, gets a good drive, doesn't lose his footing, and able to get the nose of the football into the end zone.
So it is 12-6, Washington. And setting up the touchdown was the 62-yard punt return by Damon Parker, who fielded it at his 9 and ran to the Union 29. There's your scoring drive.
8 plays, 29 yards. But when you have 2 good, outstanding, really potential All-American candidates, that big play, Don, is going to come, and it's going to come almost once a quarter. One of those young men will get a big play, so that just really keeps the pressure on the opposition's defense at all times.
Puente passing in the first half, JV, 5 of 6 for 39 yards.
A very accurate.
So much for a wet football. You talked to him before the game to find out if it was going to hamper him.
No, he has big hands. He'll squeeze that water off the football to throw it.
Here's the kick. It's short. Fair catch called for, and then taken at the 30.
You can tell that the Union Redskin coaching staff, Bill Blankenship and his assistants, have really cautioned their players tonight about keeping both hands on the football. And you don't see any of them holding the football out there, really putting it, tucking it in, holding on, preventing fumbles.
Don King, J.B. Haney with you at a sloppy turf at S.C. Williams Stadium due to the precipitation that we've had the last few days. Fuente back, looks over the middle, then fires to the near sideline, just off the fingertips of the intended receiver. I think that's Nathan Ritter.
Nathan Ritter ran a nice little button hook route out there, but just couldn't quite hang on to the ball. It was just a little bit wide for him.
Ritter a year ago caught 12 balls, and then as a sophomore caught 19, and in his career he's averaged 20 yards a catch. Suffered a shoulder separation and missed a game or two last year. Screenplay, nothing doing to Ivory. And you can credit the defense, I believe, of Ryan Humphrey.
Well, Dave Rader would be proud of Bill Blankenship's Union Redskins with their no-huddle offense. And here we see Fuentes going back and setting up, and the turf's not that bad. He can set up and just dumps the little pass right over to Ivory, but not much of a gain.
Ivory, or rather Humphrey, all over Ivory. So it's 3rd and 11. Play action, Fuente throws it deep, first down catch up at the 45-yard line for Dane Ivory. His first catch of the game for the 3-year player for the Redskins, 5'9", 145-pound senior.
And that was the matchup we were waiting to see, with McQuarters covering, and just a nice route run in there by Ivory. Catches the ball, but he doesn't go anywhere. McQuarters right on him.
16-yard advance to the 45. Bernard. Collard gets away, scoots into Washington territory at the Hornet 47-yard line.
You know, Bernard can go so deep in there on that defensive line, it looks like that he almost goes out of sight. Suddenly pops out like a spring and picks up a few extra yards.
8 on that play. 2nd and 2 from the Washington 47-yard line. Fuente hands to Bernard. They need 2. They get it and more. Look at him break a tackle. Look at that spin. Eric Bernard will tie the game. Well, we told you at the start that there were 4 kids to look for. Bernard, Fuente, McQuarters, and Parker. And we have seen all 4 of them, and we're just midway in the 2nd quarter.
That's right. We have seen a season full of great plays already, Don. What a highlight film this game is going to make.
Nathan Ritter will try to give the Redskins the lead for the first time. His kick is up, but it's no good, off to the right. Wow, he couldn't get it to hook through. I would imagine Ritter is a good kicker. Comes into the season as one of the best in the area. I would think the weather might have something to do with his missed extra point.
Yeah, here we see this great run. Now that is the spin that's coming up right here. He got out of that, just jerked, spin right around, and really made Eric Harris miss him. Once that happens, no one's going to catch him. Gets good pursuit there by Tyrone Taylor, but no way to stop Eric Bernard on that run. 46-yard touchdown run.
Both times that the Hornets have scored to take the lead, the Redskins have marched right back. And as you see Bernard's run, he had 15 touchdown runs a year ago and then caught 4 touchdown passes a year ago. He's a transfer from Midwest City, Carl Albert. There's your scoring drive. Didn't take them long, did it, to tie the game. And a big play, JB, in that 7-play drive was the 3rd and 11 play after they dumped Ivory on the screen, they came right back to him on the slant in over the middle, and he caught it for 16 against McQuarters.
That was the big play. That's right, the big matchup in there.
Here's our kick. This one will be returned at the 15-yard line. McQuarters, 20. Oh, did he set that up beautifully? He gets close to the 30-yard line, I think. Well, I beg your pardon, close to the 45-yard line. Let's see, 40. A little difficult to see. That's the best angle we have of the night. That camera is in good shape.
Robert McQuarters in the open field, Don, is not going to be tackled one-on-one, and he's making some of the defensive players look maybe a little bad, but that's not the case. He's just an outstanding athlete that's going to do that to a lot of real good defensive players on any level.
From the 15 to the 39, 24-yard return. He keeps the ball again, and he's caught from behind twice. And that's a first down run to the Redskin 45. And you can credit Union's John Bradbury, the 6-foot, 190-pounder. He is a senior, and he saved the Redskins from falling behind again.
And Mario Ratliff is pulling out a little magic at the quarterback position for the Booker T. Washington Hornets. Great fake that time.
6th first down, and they're in Union territory again at the 44-yard line. 4:45 to go. And the Hornets will be called for procedure here. Motion on Parker, who was out in a slot position.
Mix up on signals, and that's going to happen. But you consider here in the first half, Don, 4:43 remaining in the second quarter, it's been a relatively error-free game considering how hard the kids are playing against one another. And this is the first game of the season.
I don't think the Redskins have had a penalty against them, and yes, they have, a 5-yarder. And the 2 or 3 that the Hornets have incurred have been just minor penalties, 5-yarders. So it has been a rather clean played game.
And it's been a hard-hitting game. There have been some blows delivered out there tonight on the S.C. Williams turf.
This will move it almost to midfield. And we'll set up a 1st and 15 for the Hornets at S.C. Williams Stadium, the stadium named after the winningest coach in Oklahoma history, 284 wins. Tyrone Knowles is in the game. He's at the sideline here at the near side bottom of your screen. What a formation this is. 4 receivers. And Ratliff wants to run it. After he gets tripped up, might have fumbled the ball. Bradbury tripped him up. He fumbled the ball, and the Hornets have turned it over for the 2nd time in the first half.
That happens every time when we start talking about error-free football, and suddenly we put the jinx on the quarterback here. Getting out there, getting some good blocking up front. He stumbled. He really did get tackled there. Just got his feet caught up in the grass. The grass, when we were out there on it, Don, it really looked like it was tall to me. And I think if I had the speed that the Hornets have, I'd be cutting that down a little bit.
Derek Collins recovered the fumble, number 70, after Grimes had recovered a fumble in the first quarter. We have a player down with 4:14 to go, opening half. Hornets 12, Redskins 12. These two teams first met in the playoffs. I think it was 1985, as you see the turnovers. Again, the Hornets fumbling at their own 20. Although Union could do nothing with it, they had to punt. And here they have fumbled near midfield. We'll see if we can see the injury.
Real hard to see because it happened back there, right there on the screen.
There you see Bradbury distract him, and then as he tries to gain his balance, the ball pops off his hip, and it must be Ratliff that is hurt.
Well, you can see the ball squirting out there as number 70 really goes down after the football in there, Derek Collins.
Dr. Jeff Emmel from Eastern Oklahoma Orthopedic Center in the jacket that is knelt down dealing with the injured player. Of course, Eastern Oklahoma Orthopedic Center, one of our sponsors of prep football. for the season here on TCI Cablevision of Tulsa. The assistant coaches over there for Booker T. Washington, and here comes Ted Alexander to check on his QB. I believe it's his quarterback, no word. And another gentleman at the top of the screen from Eastern Oklahoma Orthopedic Center in the Navy jacket is Dr. Keith Stanley, and he handles the Union medical situation. Welcome back to S.E. Williams Stadium. Don King, J.B. Haney with you. A pleasure to be back with you. Unfortunately, we understand we had some technical difficulties, so we will recap what happened in this ball game. You see the score of 20-12. It has been a wet ball game, but the weather certainly hasn't stopped these players from performing at optimum level. Robert McQuarters, who scored a touchdown in the first quarter that you saw, also scored one here in the second period. An 86-yard punt return to put the Hornets up 20-12 after the two-point conversion run by backup quarterback B.J. Tiger. He was in the game because of the injury to Mario Rattler. The Redskins then got the ball and drove down to the Washington 7, but ran out of downs. They threw 3 incomplete passes in the end zone, trying for what could have been the tying touchdown, and it was incomplete on 4th and goal, and Washington ran out the clock the last 10 seconds. Here's a look at our halftime statistics.
Don, you can see by the stats there that a very evenly played ball game overall because of the big plays that both teams have used, but 9-6 in first downs, and time of possession's about equal. Washington has turned it over 2 times. I think that's a very significant item as far as Union is concerned, even though they trail by 8 points. And penalties, hey, it's almost been a penalty-free game. Only 10 yards for Washington High School and 5 for Union High School.
You see the time of possession nearly even. The rushing yards by Union. Fuentes had a good game, 9 of 6 in the first half. Here's a look at the scoring for Booker T. Washington and the stats for Ratliff, who again appeared to have injured his left ankle or left knee, and we'll try and get status on him. Look at McQuarters, 76-yard touchdown and an 86-yard punt return.
That's not a bad half's work, is it?
No, not at all. Not bad at all for your first game as a preseason All-American. For the Redskins, Eric Bernard, look at that, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half, one of them from 47 yards out. And again, the notes there on Fuente.
That's about 10 yards per carry, isn't it?
Not a bad average. Here is the touchdown return that we didn't show you earlier. R.W. McQuarters, and look at him get a great block here from one of the blockers, 88, Terrell Knowles, the starting tight end right there. Knowles is rather big himself at 6'2", 190, and he runs the 40 and 4.6, but he couldn't outrun this guy. No way. R.W. McQuarters, preseason All-American.
And, you know, we talk a lot about arm tackling on McQuarters, but it is awful difficult. Jeff Jenny that time looked like he was just squared up with him, but the quick movement that he does, it's just almost impossible to hit him square.
You see the weather. Our cameras are fogging up a little bit, and it is rather foggy here in the press box. So it's a little difficult, as you see the crowd in the press box, it's a little difficult to see out onto the field, but it hasn't hampered the players. They have played an exceptional first half. Again, if you're watching this on Saturday evening, Don King, J.B. Haney inviting you to join Bill Land and Steve August for the replay of the TU season opener as the Golden Hurricane take on the University of Missouri. 3 replay times this season on our prep games on TCI. Saturday night, Sunday afternoons, and Tuesday evenings as you take a look at Eric Bernard, the All-State candidate who's being recruited by Tennessee and Texas A&M.
This is just an outstanding run right here. Just stiff arms. Number 11 there, Eric Harris, before he finally tight ropes it and steps out of bounds.
Next week, it will be the private school battle of Tulsa. Cassia Hall against Holland Hall. Charles Brown, as I mentioned earlier, this stadium named after one of the winningest coaches in state history.
Charles Brown is certainly on that list as well. I think it's his 29th year at Holland Hall.
And Jim Frazier, retired superintendent from Seminole, has taken over the head job in his second year at Cassia Hall. And there's two veteran coaches that will be squaring off in the great intercity rivalry of Holland Hall and Cassia Hall.
This stadium named after S.E. Williams, the winningest coach in state history with 284 wins. He's only 15 ahead now of Joe Tunnell of Rush Springs, who starts another season there. He has 269 wins. We're ready to go to start the second half. And if it's anything like the first half, put a seatbelt on. This one's going to get even better. Bernard again. Look at him go up the midfield. As he got it at about the 10, and he scoots up to the 42-yard line. 47, 48-yard line it is. Take a look, Coach.
Bernard Young, or Bernard there is just, he is so quick when he gets up there, and you don't arm tackle him either, as we talked about the Washington runners, and it takes a couple to get him down and give him just a little more room, and he's gone.
Fuente again, 9 of 16 in the first half. Dustin Steele had an exceptional first half as well, as Bernard gets the ball and gets about 5. Steve Scott doing our stats tonight. Steele in the first half, 4 catches for 31 yards. After the gain of 5, it's second. That many yards needed from their own 46. Fuente has plenty of time. Zips it too hard for Ritter, and that would have been a first down at the Hornet 40.
Great protection there that time by the quarterback. Justin Fuente didn't have to hurry it at all, but just couldn't quite make the completion.
Both teams looking very sharp last week in the All-City preview. The Hornets won their 3rd straight, their 14th overall. They had no problems in the All-City preview, and Union likewise, no problems in the Big Four preview. Fuente gets rid of it as he was being swallowed up in the backfield by Knowles, number 88, the senior defensive end.
Like he had some receivers open that time, but the rush just took away his opportunity of finding them.
They'll bring out a defensive lineman, Eric Wallace, because Dustin Steele is back to punt. Steele has had a good night punting, but McQuarters and Parker have burned them twice. This punt won't even get to them. That might be by design. It'll be down just outside the 20-yard line.
It really looked like that he was just trying to punch it in there, Don, and not kick it as deep as he could. And I think you're right, it was by design, and that's a smart play. You don't want to kick that ball to McQuarters.
They'll mark it at the 22 after the 26-yard punt. 1st and 10 for the Hornets. First time for them to touch the ball in the second half, leading 20-12. And how important is this defensive stance here by Union?
Union has to get the football back on this possession without allowing any points to go on the board from Booker T. Washington High School, Don, because you let Washington get up by 2 touchdowns, and then a lot of trouble can break loose.
Damon Parker, we certainly mentioned him as one of the top players in the state. He was stuffed in the first half. 6 carries. I beg your pardon, 9 carries for 23 yards is his total right now. After a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 from the 21-yard line. Quick pitch, not much that time. Nice play for Union by Chad Dainty, the 3-year player. Dana, the free safety comes up to make the play.
And B.J. Tiger taking and pitching it back out to Damon Parker.
No gain on the play. 3rd down and 11. Just outside the 20-yard line for B.J. Tiger, who is at quarterback. B.J.'s a 6'2", 175-pound sophomore. And he's going to put it up. Or is he? He gets belted out of bounds. Looked as though Steve Davis made the stop. And it'll be 4th down. McQuarters will drop back for a 2nd punt of the evening.
Again, a very crucial situation for a young sophomore to step in against a ball club like Union in a game like this that both teams wanting to win so badly, but he's not doing a bad job.
Dustin Steele is certainly capable of returning punts for touchdowns, as McQuarters did, who punts it to him. Now it's Bernard that is back there, and Bernard lets it roll dead at the 46-yard line. So the Redskins will set up shop in good shape, down by 8, 54 yards away from possibly tying this game after the punt of 30 yards. Dane Ivory, one of the wideouts. Fuente's pretty good size, 6'3", 210 pounds. Has a sister that plays on the softball team for Union. Nice catch by Ritter, and he drives for the 1st down. Nathan Ritter on the reception. 3-year starter for the Redskins, 5'9", 170-pounder.
Again, you have to credit that offensive line for giving Fuentes plenty of time to pick out his receivers.
Down to the 42-yard line, I believe it is.
All in Hornet territory. That's the 42-yard line.
Pick up a 12. Draw play. Bernard to the line of scrimmage. Look at him break another tackle. And down to the 45-yard line. I beg your pardon, down to the 35-yard line, I should say. And that's 7 yards for Eric Bernard. Bernard, a 5'10", 172-pounder, who a year ago rushed for almost 1,500 yards and averaged 6.7 yards a carry. After the gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the Hornet 35-yard line. It's run a play, throw a play, and he throws it deep through the hands and incomplete of the intended receiver down at the 5-yard line, and that was Nathan Ritter.
Even on those incompleted passes, why Fuentes has them right around the target. Here again, plenty of time as he sets up and looks for Ritter going right down the middle.
Think what he could do if the football was dry.
Yes.
He hasn't been off target on a pass yet tonight.
Not really off, John.
No.
You're right. He has it right around the bullseye almost every time.
3rd and 3. Bernard gets the block, pushes for the 1st down marker, and gets it as he pushes to the 30-yard line. And he should have the 1st down by about a yard. They'll mark it at the 31. So move the chains for Union. That's their first down in the 2nd half. 3rd down conversions for Union, 1 of 3. Bernard on the sweep, turns the corner, gets a great downfield block. Down to the 15, I think it was Dustin Steele that made a, no, it was Dane Ivory. Ivory, the 5'9", 145-yard, 3-year player. We might be able to see him here. Bernard gets it closed off, JB, and then look at Ivory right here pushing his way.
1st down, 10, Redskins.
B.J. Tiger made the tackle on Bernard at the 15-yard line after a gain of 16 for another Union 1st down. Fuente has a man there, incomplete.
That's one of the few passes that he has thrown all night, Don, that really just wasn't catchable. You can't get down there and catch the ball that low.
That will bring up 2nd down.
Union likes to open up, don't they?
They open up and they get right back on the line of scrimmage.
Both teams have quite a few weapons.
He was really being rushed that time. Coming through was the big defensive tackle.
Somebody's going to need to call timeout here, and it's going to be the Redskins, or excuse me, it's going to be the Hornets. Timeout Washington with 7:24 to go in the third period. The Hornets lead by 8, 20-12. They led 6-0 early. Union drove right back, tied it at 6, missed the extra point kick, as did the Hornets. Washington then took the lead in the second period, 12-6. Union marched right back and tied it at 12. And then Washington went ahead on a punt return of 86 yards by McQuarters. Got the 2-point conversion. Union drove back down the field, ran out of downs at the end of the first half as we take a listen to Ted Alexander.
Ted Alexander is telling his linemen to get their hands up, which is certainly something you want to do when you have a quarterback that throws the ball like Fuentes. You want to come in there high. He's encouraged them to do so. Matter of fact, he wasn't encouraging them, he was telling them. Kind of disappointed in the crowd tonight, Don. The weather is not that bad that would keep good football fans away, but kind of empty seats on both sides of the stadium.
Now, not the crowd we expected after last year's crowd of 6,000. Bernard out of bounds. He sidesteps his way to the 11-yard line, being pushed out there. 14 B.J. Tiger, who starts on defense at free safety, the sophomore now at quarterback for the injured Ratliff. And Sean Farley, the 6-foot, 165-pound junior linebacker. Bernard picks up 3 or 4 to make it 3rd and 6 at the Hornet 11. Now remember, Union got down here at the end of the first half and couldn't score. And here the Hornets apparently have jumped into the encroachment zone. We'll see if that's the case. Johnny Sherblank, our referee, and a very experienced crew he has with him.
We might look back on that defensive stand just before the half that Washington put on there. Would be a very significant 4 or 5 plays.
So this 5-yard penalty against BTW will make it a 3rd and 1 at the Washington 6-yard line. And penalties really haven't been a factor in this game. No major penalties by either team yet in this contest.
Hard-hitting, very well-played game.
And there's a look at the penalties. Hornets have been penalized 3 times.
15 yards to 5 yards. That's not many yardage to be flagged in a game played as hard as this one's played.
Well, here we go. Big play with 7:10 to go, third period. Redskins have it 3rd and 1, and now Fuente in some indecision needs to call a timeout, and that's the first timeout that the Redskins will burn. We're midway in the second period, and the 7th-ranked Redskins are trying to tie the game. They need a touchdown. Big play, 3rd down, a long yard. From the Washington 6-yard line. Bernard on the delay. He stopped at the line of scrimmage, but did he make it? Dustin Steele says he made it. Johnny Sherblank wants, I think, a measurement. Or does he? No, sir. He says it's 1st down all the way, gentlemen. Bernard just about did that one on his own.
He really did. Made a nice cut in there. Knew exactly where he needed to get the football, and he got it there for the 1st down.
Picked up just inside the 5 for their 12th 1st down at the 4-yard line. Misdirection. Bernard, smelling his 3rd touchdown of the game, drives down to about the 1-yard line. Midway, 3rd period. A look there at one of the offensive linemen, strong side guard John Gresham, a senior, getting up rather slowly. Bernard, the game's leading rusher.
Nice block in there, kick out block by Steve Widenauer.
He played quite a bit last year. 6 minutes to go in the 3rd. There's the story from the 1-yard line. Bernard, did he get it? Yes.
like someone else was hurt in there. Chad Dainty coming up and holding his arm.
So here we go. The Redskins. Will they set up for one, or will they go for two to tie the game? Nathan Ritter, who has usually been a very reliable kicker, has missed a couple of extra points in this game. And again, I think the weather has to be a factor as we take a look. Is that Dainty?
I believe that's Dainty down. But you get a good look at the just great movement on the line up in front there by that front four. Open it up for the opportunity to score.
Yeah, he seemed as though he's grabbing his arm. Chad Dainty, who saved, you might remember, he saved a touchdown in this game when he caught Damon Parker on a 69-yard punt return. However, the Hornets did drive on in and score. He's up okay. He really got, as you see here, watch him. He'll be the first man through, 47. Now watch him get crunched in right there. Kind of twisted underneath. Big 88, Terrell Knowles. 6'2", 185, they say. Here we go, tie for the game if they can get the two-point conversion. Nice play action to Bernard. Throws too high. And the Hornets retain the lead of 2 points, 20-18, as they were looking for Ivory in the corner.
For number 1, Ivory. With that score, the Hornets 20.
5:50 remaining in the third period. And the Hornets have either led or have been tied twice in this game. The Redskins have never led. But it has certainly been an entertaining season opener, and we're glad you're with us on Channel 9. This is the 9th meeting between the two schools. The Hornets lead the series 5 wins to 3. However, the last 2 years have been blowouts by Washington. But Eric Bernard has had some kind of game, 3 touchdowns in the evening, and he's closing in on a 200-yard game, much like Damon Parker had for Washington last year.
Well, at the half, Don, as we saw, he was averaging 10 yards per carry, and here he really does, and this is a great effort on his part as well. It just extends himself out to get in the end zone.
Look at that. 21 rushes, 173 yards, 3 touchdowns. And your scoring drive on the 1-yard plunge by Bernard to pull the Redskins to within 2. Here's the kick, short kick, taken, I think, by Hunter. We'll see if it was 46 or 48. Carlos Hunter, who will play fullback. Number 46, he's a junior, and his brother Marcus also plays some fullback. Returns the ball up to the 38-yard line, 39-yard line maybe.
Not bad field position for the Washington Hornets here, but if you kick it deep, there may not be field position. There could be a touchdown. So I think that's a smart move, the way they kicked it high and was able to get down and get them covered and not allow too much of a return by the Hornets.
And we have our first major penalty of the game, a personal foul penalty against the Redskins. We had one earlier in the game, but it was nullified on the McQuarters punt return from 86 yards out.
And sometimes this sort of thing happens in a game played like this, Don, as the kids get a little tired.
Again, penalties not much a factor in this game as they have the ball in Union territory. And look at Ratliff back into the game, and he sneaks through for 10, and he's close to the first down marker. Ratliff back into the game like a flash.
Certainly showing no effects of the ankle injury or whatever it was there. It could have been a muscle spasm, but does he step through there very quickly? He's in the secondary before you know he's got the football.
One back, that's Parker, and he has been shut down pretty much in this game except for a huge punt return that set up a touchdown. Here he gets the carry. McQuarters gives him a nice block, and he scoots to the outside, bumped out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Escorting him out, Rashawn Greer, number 21.
Nice block in there by number 17. McWhorter just springs him loose to where he can pick up those extra yards. Devon Parker.
Got 6 there. Got more than that, actually. Here we go. Yeah, he got about 7. Here's Parker again. He is to the 10-yard line. And inside the 10, Devon Parker.
To the 10-yard line. First down, Hornets.
Parker, you just can't keep this kid contained for much longer.
No, he does an excellent job of seeing the open field, Don. I mean, if the play is not just exactly open where it's designed, he will float down the line of scrimmage, find that open, find that crease, and always picking up yardage.
First and goal from the Union 10-yard line. After the 19-yard run, his best of the night. This is Ratliff. Keeps it, gets down to about the 2, maybe the 3.
He is certainly recognizing a soft spot
Yes,
there
he
in the
is.
interior defense of the Union Redskins and taking advantage of it.
Second down. 3 yards to go for a Hornet touchdown.
Very underrated quarterback as we talk about the great quarterback that are around in the Tulsa area here in Class 6A this year.
So Ratliff gets him down inside the 5 to the 3, where it is second and goal. And Parker's in.
A very consistent drive by the Washington Hornets.
An impressive drive after the Redskins scored for the first time in the second half. It's the Hornets this time who come right back with a knockout punch of their own, at least an attempt of a knockout punch, and they've increased their lead back to their largest of the night of 8 points.
Not much doubt about Devon Parker being able to pick up 4 or 5 yards in that instance. He just really finds that open area and sticks his nose in and goes. 53 yards and 1 touchdown for Parker.
200 yards shy of what he did a year ago, but he will certainly, should he stay healthy, rush for over 1,000 yards like he did a year ago.
Please report immediately.
And
So-
this is a big extra point
Yeah.
play coming up here.
Hornets up by 8. This is a very big 2-point conversion, because if you are not successful, the Redskins can go down, tie it with a touchdown and a 2-pointer. If they do get it, the Redskins have to score twice to take the lead. And Ratliff's back in at QB. Parker, the only running back. 3 wideouts. Wants to throw it. Nice toss. It's good. The 2-point conversion caught by Kevin Williams, the 5'6", 160-pound senior wideout. And the Hornets have now increased their lead to 10, biggest of the night.
And there's a nice pass by Ratliff, and Williams just looks like he runs a little in, and he hooks out to the outside, and the pass was made perfectly, and that's 2 points for the Hornets, and a big 2 points.
Well, if you think this one is over with 3:39 to go in the third, I don't think so. You can ask Broken Arrow coach Bill Langieri about how Union can come back and beat you at the end of the game, because it has been a few years in a row now that Broken Arrow has had Union down and the Redskins have come back to win. And Bill Blankenship talking to his crew, the sidelines at Union. The Redskins lost to Washington in the season opener last year. In fact, lost 3 of their first 4 games before they rebounded and made it to the state playoffs again. This is Daney. Remember, he went out a while ago with an injury. Look at him fight his way from the 10-yard line up near the 40.
Yeah, Daney returning that kickoff for the Redskins. That tackle lead initially by the
Gives the Redskins good field position here as the closing minutes of the third quarter, and I'm sure that Bill Blankenship would like to see them get down close and maybe get some points on the board if they could on this possession.
The Hornets leading 28-18 after going 46 yards in 5 plays. They'll need a little Clorox for Bernard's uniform, won't they?
You can see that he has been carrying the football and has been working just about as hard as you can work.
We have a flag down, I think, on the play.
The preliminary indication, penalty being assessed against the Hornets.
This will be against the Hornets for illegal substitution, illegal participation. This will certainly help the Redskins with 3:06 to go in the 3rd period. So is it still? Yes, it'll still be 1st down. 1st and 5 from the 44. Puente. Oh, incomplete. The Hornet defender was there, Eddie Pierce, and it sailed over his head, and it looked like it was going to drop right in the arms of one of the Redskin receivers.
Good movement in the defensive backfield there and covering. But Don, as we said all night, Fuentes is right around the bullseye every time he throws.
2nd down 5. Bernard up the gut, gets about 4. So it'll be a yard shy of the 1st down. That'll set up 3rd and short. Remember, Bernard is closing in on 200 yards rushing in this game. Ball at the 48-yard line, just shy of the 48, where it is 3rd and a yard. Oh, and Washington jumps into the encroachment zone again. Remember, they did that earlier in this period. And that will give the Redskins their 13th 1st down of the game. And move it in to Washington territory at the Washington 47. These two schools, of course, have been successful for years on the athletic fields. Also well known for their academic prowess. 1st and 10 from the Hornet 47. Bernard up the gut. 1st down run from the Washington 47 down to the 35-yard line. That'll be a dozen. And another Redskin 1st down.
Credit some great blocking up front by the offensive line for Union, because they really opened up a nice hole that time for Bernard.
Total offense, 428 yards, 448 yards. And Bernard will tack on a lot more to that as we get inside the 2-minute mark of the 3rd period. Bernard gets close to another 1st down from the Washington 35. The yard markers are washed away here, so bear with us. Down to the 22-yard line. So back-to-back 12-yard runs by Bernard. Gives Fuente a chance. Yes, diving catch. Did he hang on to it? Ivory did indeed hang on to it. It's a 1st down catch at the 10-yard line. Or did he? Now they say he didn't hang on to it. I beg your pardon.
We'll take a look at the replay here and see. And again, Fuentes really throwing the ball right in there on the button, but it looked like
he caught it there, and then when he came down, he couldn't hang on.
Yeah, he couldn't hang on to it. And again, thrown right into Robert McWhorter's territory over there. He's not backing off from the great defensive back at all.
Eric Bernard unofficially tonight, 24 carries, 202 yards for number 22, Eric Bernard.
From the Washington 35, Redskins down by 10, but they have the ball in the driving until Bernard gets stopped in the backfield. Ryan Humphrey on the stop, and also number 75, Jericho Lovett, 6'2", 225-pound senior, who goes both ways on the line. And that's the first time in the game that Bernard has been stopped for a loss. Now the pressure is really on Fuente to complete a 3rd down and 12 play.
Big play right here.
He's got 3 receivers, as you see. They're all covered. Now he breaks loose, incomplete. It looked as though it was 31, Ashley, on the defense. So now it's 4th down, and even though you're still in the 3rd period, I would imagine they'll go for it. Late in the 3rd period, 51 seconds remaining. Fuente, who last season threw for 18 touchdowns. He came into this game over 3,100 yards passing in his career and 36 touchdowns. None tonight until he finds this gentleman at the 5. Touchdown Ritter, touchdown Union.
What a game this has been. Just about the time you think that the one team's going to get the upper hand, while they come right back, and here's a nice setup, nice protection. Picks out Ritter downfield. Good spin here. Getting by Eric Harris in for the touchdown. Right back in the ballgame.
Union will go for 1. The kick is up. It certainly had plenty of distance in all of his kicks. This time it's good, and Raider, look at it. He looks up to the gods and says, thank you very much, with 46 seconds to go in the 3rd period. And just like that, the Redskins come right back with another score of their own, 28-25 Washington. 46 seconds remaining, 3rd period. What an explosion we've had at S.E. Williams Stadium.
And now you have to think on down the road that a field goal with the capability of the kicking game of Union High School, that could happen, but the defense is going to have to stop the Washington Hornets here if they're going to have a chance.
A nifty 56-yard drive for the Redskins on the 37-yard pass play from quarterback Justin Fuente to receiver Nathan Ritter. For Fuente, his 37th career touchdown pass. For Ritter, his 5th touchdown reception.
Don, that's why both these ball clubs have a chance of having outstanding years and going very far in the playoffs, because they can make those big plays at any time.
Hunter fumbles it out of bounds. So no harm done there.
Larry Agee from the Eastern Oklahoma Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Center on the sideline that time, and I thought he was going to get hurt, Don.
Well, he's got Dr. Emo on the Washington sideline. He's got Dr. Stanley on the Union sideline. So if Larry goes down, there'll be a couple of colleagues there to help him.
He'll be taken care of. Well, they might just leave him down, though.
From the 26-yard line for the Hornets. Ooh, they call a timeout here, and that could be costly. 46 seconds left in the 3rd period. Now you start to look at the timeouts.
Always important, but one thing for sure, if things aren't set right, it's worth the timeout. That could lead to a turnover or to a big loss.
These teams opening the season for the 8th time in the last 9 years against the two. It was broken up a few years ago when Washington went to Cincinnati. As you see the timeouts remaining. The Hornets traveled to Cincinnati to play in a season opener up there that featured quite a few of the top national teams that particular year.
And we talk a lot about the success of the Booker T. Washington High School athletic programs, and Don, you mentioned academically they do as well, and recently Booker T. Washington High School was selected to receive the Freedoms Foundation George Washington Honor Medal for Excellence in the category of schools, and congratulations to the staff and to the student body.
Williams in motion. Give to Parker. He busts to the outside. Oh, and he gets tripped up. Not before he gets about 10 yards. He almost broke that one as he scoots up to the 35. They'll mark it at the 37. That'll be 11 yards and a first down. And now Damon Parker starts to make some noise.
Also this last spring, the Hornet Academic Bowl team wins second in the United States. That's quite an achievement by the academic group.
Parker showing his quickness as he zipped to the outside, picked up 11 yards for the Hornets. That was their 8th first down. The Redskins have 14 first downs to the Hornets 8. But it has been the Hornets' big play tandem tonight that have given them a 3-point lead of 28-25. In the first period, they got a 76-yard screen pass to McQuarters for their first touchdown. Their second touchdown was set up on a 62-yard punt return by Damon Parker. And their third touchdown to close out the first half was a McQuarters 86-yard punt return. First down here from the 37 as we get ready to close out the third period. Ratliff in trouble. Instead, he pitches back to Parker, and Parker gets 10. And Daney again has to save a Union embarrassment as the third period has expired. We're coming back with the fourth quarter on TCI in a moment. Don King, J.B. Haney back with you to start the fourth quarter. At least regulation. Because as you see, we're just a field goal away from a tie. We've been tied twice in this game at 6 and at 12. Then the Hornets led 20-12. Then 28-18. And now 28-25. And look at Ratliff. He's got nowhere to go. Nice defensive play by Matt Wilson, 5'11", 206-pound senior linebacker.
This is another critical series for the Washington Hornets, but great coming up there very, very quickly by Matt Wilson from his linebacking position. It seems like that each team has struck back again, Don, after every touchdown. So let's see if it holds true here in the fourth period.
Parker coming this way. Gets about 3 or 4, maybe 5. We'll see where they mark it. Eric Bernard is in on defense now, and he makes the tackle out of the secondary position. And give Parker a little more than 5 yards, about 7 on the play. Down to the Union 45.
And that's an excellent tackle in there by Eric Bernard, because not many times tonight has one player brought Damon Parker down.
Only 2 turnovers in the game. Washington had a fumble in the first period, a fumble in the second period. No turnovers in the third or the fourth period as we just started our final quarter. And a give to Parker. Stopped in the backfield on 3rd and 3. What a defensive stand that was by the Union defensive front. Rhett Grimes, who recovered one of those fumbles in the first half, makes the stop as he grabbed a leg and just wouldn't let go. Loss of 2 on the play, and McQuarters is in the punt. Remember, Dustin Steele is certainly dangerous in his own right as he stands back at the 10-yard line to return the punt. Oh, they're going to fake, and McQuarters is going to try it. Oh, he got the first down by Justin Island. He got the first down by Justin Island, I think. They now mark it. It appears the Hornet players are clapping as if he got it, but the chains are on the other side. And Johnny Sherblay blank, now wants to check.
And he didn't hesitate 1 minute when the ball was snapped. He took it and skirted around his left end. It's going to be close.
That is the same view as we have, that you have, so we shall see. I think he got it, but we'll see. You hear the players going, oh yeah.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
That was close, but a great big play by the Washington Hornets and a big gamble by the Washington Hornets that paid off.
By about a length of the football. His speed, it was just his speed that got him there. 10th first down for Booker T.
That has to be an emotional lift for the Hornets.
Well, we'll find out. Will Ratliff go up top? No, they go to the short side of the field, and Parker tries to outrun him, and does so. Out of bounds at about the 20, 23 maybe. We'll see where they mark it. He was just inside Union territory at the 48. Nobody out there, JB. They just gave it to him and said, outrun him.
That's right, and that's exactly what he's done. And you could see back in the backfield was Red Grimes, but just no way he has the speed to match up in there with Damon Parker, and he can just outrun you and pick up 8, 9, 10 yards.
21-yard gallop by Parker. Here he goes again. So not much for Parker in the first half, but he has burned them in the second half. When they needed it desperately. He gets inside the 25 to the 24 for 3.
Certainly a go-to player.
9 minutes remaining in the game, and it's 28-25 Washington. They have the ball. They're on the move again. Single coverage out here on both receivers. Instead of the screen play to McQuarters, which they had set up there at the bottom of your screen, instead they go for Williams. Or Dwight Jackson it was, 43. And a look at Damon Parker. He's right at the 100-yard mark. And his touchdown is the difference. His last touchdown is the difference in this game. Third down 7 from the Union 24. Parker, yes, close inside the 20. He'll be very close to that marker. If he didn't get it, they'll certainly go for it on 4th down.
Extremely difficult back to stop. It just seems like that he can see the crease, he can see the seam, he can see daylight. And he's going to be getting 4, 5, 6, 7 yards every time he carries the football.
He's a yard short.
Nice cut again. An arm tackle in there that by Sean Armland, you just can't bring him down. And you can't get a square lick. It's not being critical of arm tackling. It's just you can't get a square lick on him.
Watch Ratliff here on the sneak because he's certainly been successful on that play. Instead, Parker. The surge will push him to that first down marker, and I think he'll have it. At about the 17, to give him any forward progress, try the 16-yard line. And an offensive line that might have been in question for the Hornets, starting to show themselves, led by 3-year starter at center, Brad Bender. Parker with that carry, the last 2 carries, goes over the 100-yard mark.
Always the goal of a running back to get 100 yards per game.
Parker again, 258 yards against the Redskins a year ago in the season opener. again, this is a big series for both teams with 7:45 to go in the game, and the Hornets leading by just 3 points. First down at the Union 15-yard line. Parker on the sweep. To the 12. Daney, who is the leading tackler in the game, rushes him out of bounds.
Roshan Greer also in on the tackle. They are just going to the go-to man and turning him loose.
Parker has 80 yards, over 80 yards rushing in the second half after being stuck on 23 at halftime. After the gain of 3 from the Union 12, Rattler gets the snap. Parker again, McQuarters applying the block. He also gets a nice block from number 76 who came out to pull for him, Racy Ronowski. And Parker's down to the 10-yard line.
Parker right, Parker left, Parker up the middle.
3rd and 5 from the Union 10. We haven't seen the tight end over the middle. That being Terrell Knowles, 6'3", 190-pound senior.
And I keep thinking every time Robert McQuarters flanks real far to either side that they're going to be tossing to him again.
McQuarters in motion. Again to the short side. Nobody can catch him. Touchdown, Washington.
You'll see here in the replay that McQuarters goes to his right. You see him go in the top of your picture. They came right back to the area vacated by McQuarters as the defense adjusted, maybe to make sure they kept him in view. He had been blocking very well for Damon Parker as he went to the right side on the movement and the motion. But not that time. Nice play for the Hornets.
Fellers will try the extra point. High snap and nothing doing there. So the Washington Hornets, who led by 3, now lead by 9. And with 6:35 to go, the Redskins need to score twice. The Hornets have never led in this game, but the Redskins have come back to tie it a couple of times. Got back to within 2 at 20-18, got back to within 3 at 28-25. Now they have more work to do. And Dustin Steele's capable of answering for them. To the 40-yard line, and still on his feet. To the 35-yard line, Dustin Steele. They don't call him MacGyver for nothing. What a return. Is that Steele? I beg your pardon. That's Chad Daney. It is Daney on the return.
Well, he certainly got out of several tight spots right over there in front of the bench, the Union Redskin bench in there.
The 5'8", 170-pound senior has had himself a tremendous season opener.
Nice tackle. He breaks right there. Looks like he's going to be down. Just squirts out. Breaks another tackle.
Pressure's on. Instead, they hand off to Bernard. They were swallowing up Fuentes. I think they had the blitz on. And Bernard carries 4 Hornets down to the 25 for what might be a 10-yard run and a first down.
The clock really becoming a factor now because, as you mentioned, Don, going away a few minutes ago, that Union has to score twice, so they have to get down here and do it quickly.
8-yard gain down to about the 27, apparently. 2nd and 2. Bernard again. First down and much more inside or close to the 15-yard line, and that'll move the chains and stop the clock for a moment with 5 minutes 40 seconds remaining. That was a beautiful drive, by the way, the Hornets just had, JB. This is the first time the Redskins have had to touch the football in the fourth period as Bill Blankenship brings in a play.
What an opening game.
Fuente batted down.
And that's just exactly what Coach Ted Alexander was telling those big linemen earlier, to make sure that you get your hands up, and that time it was done very well in there by big number 75, Jericho Lovett. Certainly the receiver was wide open on this. You can see I couldn't catch his number, but Lovett just getting out there, getting those hands up, knocking it down.
Ball at the 17-yard line. We're 2nd and 10. 3 wideouts. On the slant to Bernard. Can't turn the corner, and he's dropped after a 2-yard gain.